Number 10. Against discipline. Smith's unusual parenting style has raised eyebrows over the years, but he and his wife faced backlash in April 2013 when he revealed that they didn't believe in punishing their two younger children, Willow and Jaden. Will told Metro UK, quote, "We don't do punishment. The way that we deal with our kids is they are responsible for their lives. Our concept is, as young as possible, give them as much control over their lives as possible." And when talking about the concept of punishment, they believe it has too much of a negative quality. Basically, their whole parenting philosophy is that they don't believe in disciplining their kids. But criticism of their parenting style really exploded in 2014 when 13-year-old Willow was photographed in bed with a 20-year-old actor laying down right beside her. The whole thing even led to an investigation by Child Protective Services. In an interview with BBC Radio a couple of years later, after the initial drama, Will actually admitted that he and Jada may have gone a bit too far in their hands-off approach, and perhaps should have kept a tighter rein on Jaden and Willow. Regardless of whether you think the Smiths were wrong in their parenting approach or not, there's no denying that it led to two incredibly creative individuals. Number 9. Wanting multiple girlfriends. While the Smiths are no longer trying to hide how they feel about open relationships, many people have actually taken more offense to Will's misogynistic comments about women, specifically when he admitted in a 2021 GQ profile that his fantasy was to have, quote, "a harem of girlfriends." He proceeded to name Halle Berry and ballet dancer Misty Copeland as two women that he would invite to be in it. Then, under the direction of an intimacy coach that he had at the time, he researched them and even made plans to contact them. Quote, "The idea of traveling with 20 women that I loved and took care of and all that, it seemed like a really great idea." Obviously, he never acted on the impulse, eventually realizing that it wouldn't be fun at all in reality. He apparently came to the conclusion that it would be horrific and it would in fact make him miserable. Can't really argue with that one, but it might have been a good idea to keep that fantasy hidden. Number 8. The entanglement. Musician August Alsina brought the Smiths' relationship into the spotlight in July of 2020 when he revealed that he was romantically involved with Jada, and Will knew about it the whole time. He had even given them his blessing. Although Jada initially denied the claims, she eventually confessed to being in an entanglement with August when she and her husband were separated. Quote, "We decided we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy," Smith said during an appearance on the Red Table Talk in July of 2020. They both went on the talk show together, and in a heartbreaking episode, Jada told Will how she came to be romantically involved with August, and how he made her feel special because of what they were lacking in their relationship at the time. Will took the whole thing like a champ, but the clip went viral online because he looked like he was on the verge of tears the whole time that Jada was talking. Looking back on that moment now, it almost hurts to watch. Number 7. Snooki. After kissing Jersey Shore goodbye, the reality star Snooki became determined to get in shape following her wild partying ways. The celeb dropped an enormous amount of weight in a small period of time and credits her weight loss success to Dr. Siegel's cookie diet. Quote, "I eat 6 cookies a day and then I have like chicken or fish for dinner, something healthy." The diet, which has been well known since the 70s, features a varieties of cookie flavors like oatmeal raisin, chocolate chips, blueberry, banana, even coconut. But how is Snooki going to lose all that weight by eating non-diet food? Well, the cookie diet actually limits your calorie intake to 800 to 1200 calories per day, an amount considerably less than recommended by most dietitians. Since you're eating the same foods most of the time, you're also missing the vital nutrients you'd be getting by eating well-rounded meals. The cookie diet is misleading in that it makes you think that you can indulge, when in reality you're still restricting calories and eating cookies that aren't as tasty as you might really imagine. Number 6. Elizabeth Hurley. The English actress and model is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful women in the industry, but her controversial diet is one of the ways that she maintains her figure. According to Hurley, she undergoes a soup cleanse every now and then in order to stay slim. The Sun reported that the actress is a supporter of the watercress soup diet and even recommends it to all of her friends. Like it sounds, the cleanse requires you to switch out solid food for low-calorie soup instead. Well, she's always been very open about promoting it and and said, quote, "It's fatless, low calorie, full of vitamins and iron, and delicious enough to serve at a dinner party. Although this diet sounds like it's effective, it would probably get extremely boring after a while." The British beauty turned to the watercress soup diet in 2007, reportedly losing 10 pounds in a week, and says that she drinks at least 6 cups a day when she is eager to lose a few pounds. Most controversially, she has also come out saying that she does not eat breakfast and she does not think it's even necessary. Quote, "My diet survived the onslaught of phenomenal vacation food doctors disagree, but I swear by almost nothing for breakfast for adults." Number 5. Gwyneth Paltrow. In 2018, Paltrow came under fire for endorsing a drastic diet that she called a winter detox, which was an all-liquid diet consisting of 300 calories a day. Then in 2021, the actress took to Instagram advertising a book called Intuitive Fasting by Dr. Will Cole. She gave it the highest of praise, stating, quote, "It's designed to optimize our well-being and set us up to feel our best for all the other weeks to come." Immediately, people were lighting up the comment section criticizing the actress for continuing to promote starvation. By this point, she had angered everyone, especially nutritionists, health coaches, and personal trainers. She has also been a long-term follower of the controversial macrobiotic diet, which is a very restrictive form of eating that doesn't allow any processed food or refined food. It focuses on natural, organic, plant-based food sources and foods that need to be consumed in their most natural state. According to sources, Paltrow also went the extra steps of eating no animal products whatsoever and nothing cooked. She took the concept much further than some practitioners do, and she may have put herself at risk of some of the problems that go along with lack of calcium, protein, and vitamin B. Number 4. Sarah Michelle Gellar. For any person who's lived through the 90s and early 2000s, you know that Sarah Michelle Gellar was the total queen of that era. I mean, she's been in so many iconic movies like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cruel Intentions, I Know What You Did Last Summer, even Scooby-Doo. The list goes on and on. But during her Buffy days, the celeb has been a believer in the all-cabbage soup diet in order to keep the weight off. According to Shape magazine, she followed the 7-day plan multiple times during her career, which bans most foods except for cabbage soup. The cleanse is known to be bland but very low calorie. It's of course controversial because of the fact that it was a mostly liquid diet. To be fair, the star reportedly added vegetables, fruit, milk, and yogurt to the soup in order to supplement it. It sounds very intense, but people have also been body shaming her for a long time. In fact, she recently had to apologize for posting Instagram photos of herself looking quite slender in black lingerie. People took issue with the caption, which said she was going to put the pictures on display in her house to stop herself from overindulging on Thanksgiving. Number 3. Nepotism. The Smith family are undeniably a very tight-knit unit, collaborating on so many projects together throughout their careers. Some critics have accused the patriarch of nepotism, and they may have a point. It's pretty easy to see why. Just glancing through Jaden Smith's IMDb page, you can actually see that most of the movies he starred in were produced by one of his parents. The accusations were so intense that in Will's memoir, he opened up about casting The Pursuit of Happiness, saying that the studio actually didn't want to cast Jaden because it would seem like nepotism, and that would just ruin the credibility of the film from the get-go. But even though the studio was hesitant, the concerns didn't keep the Smiths from pushing for Jaden to get the part, and eventually they had their way. Don't get me wrong, the movie was great, but fans could not ignore the clear favoritism that was happening behind the scenes. Many people even called out his acting abilities in After Earth, which completely bombed at the box office, and Will even called it the most painful failure of his career. Number 2. Open marriages. Will and Jada have been shutting down rumors for literally decades, from claims that they're in an open relationship and speculation that they're swingers, to reports that Jada even cheated on Will with Mark Anthony. During an interview with GQ in 2021, Smith finally revealed that he and his wife haven't always been monogamous. Quote, "Jada never believed in conventional marriage," and went on to say that Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship. So she grew up in a way that was very different to how he grew up. He hinted that both parties had taken advantage of the trust and freedom in their relationship in their own way. Will admitted that for a large part of their relationship, monogamy was what they chose, but it's clear that somewhere down the line they decided to stray from that traditional dynamic. In fact, Will was rumored to be hooking up with Margot Robbie on the set of their film Focus in 2013, after photos were leaked of the pair joking around and getting very close in front of the camera in a photo booth. But Margot was quick to deny everything on Twitter. Quote, "There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous matter. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context." Well, people really do jump to conclusions. And coming in at number 1, ties to Scientology. While the couple have never confirmed their religious affiliation, the Smith family has long been rumored to be members of the controversial Church of Scientology. Smith told Men's Vogue in May 2011, quote, "I've studied Buddhism and Hinduism and I've studied Scientology with Tom Cruise, and nobody's saying anything different." His comments obviously earned a great deal of backlash, especially when he claimed 98% of the principles are identical to the principles in the Bible. But then in October 2018, he declared that his family have never been Scientologists. To confuse matters even more, many of the Smiths' movies reportedly contain Scientology references and themes. In 2013, Vulture even called his sci-fi flick, After Earth, that he did with Jaden a love letter to Scientology. Not to mention the fact that in 2007, Will and Jada donated over $122,000 to the church. The truth is, we may never know whether the family are members of the religious movement or not, but the fact that the famous family hasn't condemned Scientology is already a major problem for some fans, especially as more and more disturbing allegations are continuing to come out about the church in recent years. Number 10. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The NBA legend seemed to take Will Smith at his word when the actor apologized for slapping comedian Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. Quote, "There is no part of me that thinks that that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults." Abdul-Jabbar voiced his support for Will Smith and made it clear that he doesn't believe Smith is just trying to save his own skin. Quote, "I'm going to look at his words and accept that they are sincere and honest. I'm going to believe that after a lengthy period of soul-searching, family rebuilding, and moral prioritizing, he was ready to face a shocked and disapproving world, one that may no longer be rooting for him." The NBA star seemed to have a lot of sympathy for the actor, as he later added that he is rooting for him. It does look like he did a full 180 though, considering that Abdul-Jabbar was among one of the first people to criticize him following the incident. So while some might see the apology video as a shallow attempt to rehabilitate his image, at least Will has a strong supporter on his side. Number 9. Jessie Woo. The Haitian-American comedian, media personality, and singer had some of her own thoughts about Will's new video. She said that her favorite part was his clarification of his longtime wife Jada Pinkett Smith's involvement with the incident. Quote, "My favorite part of Will Smith's apology is him making it clear that Jada never told him to do anything to Chris after his joke." Jessie went on to call out the many people who built a following off of blaming Jada and targeting her with their hatred for something that Will did. She claims that people are desperate to make her the villain in the situation. In his video, Will was asked whether or not his wife had asked her husband to do anything after visibly rolling her eyes at Chris Rock's joke, before he stormed off the stage and slapped him across the face. But the actor clarified the speculation and simply said no, that he made the choice on his own from his own experiences and history with Chris Rock. In fact, he said that Jada had nothing to do with it. So while a key aspect of his video that's driving the social divide is whether or not Will was a victim or a perpetrator of trauma, most people have agreed that the shot of Jada giving Will the look was not an indication of her encouraging him in any way. Number 8. Dr. Shola Mos-Shogbamimu. The lawyer, politician, and women's rights activist called Will's apology raw and human, as she was clearly able to empathize with what the actor was trying to say. Quote, "Will Smith apology. I felt it. It's raw and human. I was very disappointed by his actions that night, and it looks like he doesn't understand it too, but makes no excuses." But while Dr. Shola was appreciative of Will's public gesture, she also said that Chris Rock's decision to stay away from the actor and take the time he needed was something to be respected. Dr. Shola is no stranger to voicing her opinion when it matters. In fact, she recently slammed Piers Morgan after he tried to defend defend the royal family against racism allegations after the Oprah interview with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. While she was on Good Morning Britain, the activist slammed Pierce for defending the royal family and calling the interview an absolute disgraceful betrayal. So after going through all that, it's no surprise that she thinks the apology was genuine and is able to see it from a more well-rounded perspective. Number 7. Strange beliefs. Jaden and Willow Smith have long been open about their bizarre opinions, but all of their insane comments have mostly been swept under the rug over the years. The siblings have also come out and labeled themselves as indigo children, who are believed to possess special, unusual, and supernatural traits that was popularized in the 70s. One of the most unforgettable interviews was done by T Magazine in 2014, who felt that their sibling dynamic would make them just the right people to talk about all those classic teenage topics such as quantum physics, prana energy, and the lucid, often elusive nature of temporal interpretation. Jaden said, quote, "Here's the deal, school is not authentic because it ends. It's not true, it's not real. Our learning will never end. And that kids who go to normal school are so teenagery and so angsty." He went on to say that you never learn anything in school. Think about how many car accidents happen every day. Quote, "Driver's ed? What's up with that? I still haven't been to driver's ed because everybody I know has been in an accident, and I can't see how driver's ed is really helping them out. I mean, we could break that down even more, but I don't really see the point." It's just funny because you know he was completely serious when he said it. Number 6. Hating on Aunt Viv. One of the most controversial opinions that Will has had is that of Janet Hubert, who played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When she left the sitcom due to creative differences in 1993, Will slammed his former co-star during a radio interview. "All I can say is straight up that Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show." He also said that she told him, quote, "I've been in the business for 10 years and this snotty-nosed punk comes along and gets a show?" Those comments marked the start of what would eventually become a 30-year feud. Janet claimed that Will spread lies about her behavior on set because he knew the audience was mostly on her side. It wasn't until the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special in 2020 that Will even acknowledged that he had made the set difficult for Janet during the 3rd season. It was a really sad moment because she admitted that the rumors Will started had cost her everything, including her career and her reputation, saying, quote, "Calling a black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death." Will only realized his mistake much too late and said that after having 3 kids, he's learned some things he did not know at the time, and he would do things differently with Janet had he gotten another chance. Number 5. Secret third child. Not everyone knows that Will actually has a 3rd child from his first marriage to Cherie Zampino. Trey Smith, who is now 29 years old, mostly lived with his mother following his parents' divorce in 1995, and so that's why he's still relatively unknown. But Trey has actually struggled quite a bit compared to his half-siblings. In a 2018 Instagram post, Trey said that he felt betrayed and abandoned for a long time after his parents' divorce, and even Will admitted that he and his eldest child struggled for years to develop a good father-son relationship because he basically made a whole new family and moved on without Trey. The truth is, his father's total absence from his day-to-day life was quite hard on him growing up, and Will has also said that he regrets how neglected Trey felt. In fact, they have only recently been back on good terms, and the actor said that he and his firstborn son have slowly started growing and healing, overcoming their past trauma, even posting on Instagram in 2018, quote, "It is a wild blessing to recover and restore a loving relationship with my beautiful son." Number 4. How they met. The couple often paint their love story as one for the ages, but they definitely tried to gloss over the fact that their relationship began when Will was technically married to his first wife, Cherie. In fact, Jada let this information slip voluntarily in a 2018 interview with Access, admitting that when Will first reached out to her, he wasn't exactly fully free to do so. Quote, "He was just separated," and then went on to say that the divorce had not even happened yet. The couple has maintained that they weren't physically involved until the divorce was finalized, but many fans believe Will's heart had certainly strayed well before he made any move to end things with Cherie. During a sit-down interview on Red Table Talk, Will actually said that at a certain point in his first marriage, quote, "I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with," but maintained that he didn't want to get divorced. He kind of admitted that instead of being honest with his wife right away, he just lost feelings for her and kept it private. But in the end, his ex-wife was the bigger person and ended up asking for the divorce, which allowed him to publicly date Jada right after the papers were signed. Number 3. Justin Tinsley. The American journalist specializing in hip-hop, pop culture, and sports took to Twitter to express his support for Will Smith following his new video apology. How you feel about the Will Smith apology video is completely up to you, but him saying disappointing people is my central trauma, that resonated with me on a different level. It appears that Will's apology really hit home for the journalist. And he believed that it was a genuine way for the actor to say sorry for the incident that took place 4 months ago. In the 5-minute long video, Will Smith took his time to apologize to Chris Rock as he shared the current dynamic between the two. With Rock still not ready to talk to the actor about the incident, Smith made it clear that he will stay put and wait for Rock to find his footing, and whatever he does, he will be there to listen. He also clarified that Jada did not direct him to get on the stage and take action. The rash decision was entirely his own doing. Number 2. Cherie Zampino. Will Smith's first wife and mother to his son Trey Smith took to Instagram to express her love and support for her ex-husband following the release of his apology video that still seems to have the internet really divided. She addressed her comment directly to Will, saying, quote, "You are so loved. My prayer is that the grace you've extended to so many will be given to you." It's good to see that she's publicly supporting the actor now, considering that she's been silent for quite some time following the incident. During the infamous slap, Zampino was watching alongside her co-stars from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills at an Oscars viewing party. An insider source close to the star claimed that after the altercation, Cherie looked embarrassed and reportedly skedaddled from the viewing party, which was brimming with other stars, probably in an effort to avoid being questioned by the other celebrities. But on Instagram, she kept things positive and showed her support by posting a photo of herself with Will, which was taken after the awards ceremony, with the caption, "Epic night, congratulations again, when one wins, we all win, #family first." Number 10. Beyonce. In order to prepare for her starring role in Dreamgirls, Beyonce went all out by committing to something called the Master Cleanse, a very dangerous all-liquid diet that has participants eating nothing but lemon juice, maple syrup, and pepper mixed together. It involves a 10-day diet of liquids only and no solid foods. Each day you make yourself a lemonade of lemon juice, maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and water. You must also take a laxative in the morning and in the evening, or you can trade the morning laxative for a saltwater flush. The singer reportedly lost a whopping 9 kilos in 14 weeks doing the cleanse, which sounds more scary rather than impressive, but she did it all for her character in Dreamgirls. Quote, "Back in the 60s, models like Twiggy were popular, and I knew Dina would have been thin then, so even though I really love eating, it was necessary to lose weight really quickly." But health professionals have also questioned its safety and compared the diet to starvation. The diet also messes with your metabolism, causing it to slow down quickly and conserve your body's energy, instead of burning fat, so it's just not a good idea all round. Number 9. Khloe Kardashian. After separating from her husband Lamar Odom in 2014, Khloe Kardashian famously embarked on her revenge body journey that saw her drop from her smallest size in years and lost almost 20 kilograms. She attributes it to a low-carb diet that focuses on protein and reducing calorie count. She reportedly eats just a spoon of jam and peanut butter for breakfast to give her enough energy to work out for several hours a day to help with maintaining her physique. She also doesn't have any carbs after 3 p.m. and allows herself just one cheat meal a week. While the reality star has been getting tons of love for her new slimmed down look, the tabloids report her strict diet isn't very healthy. While pregnant with her daughter True last year, the celeb continued her intense workouts, and Khloe reportedly jumped right back on to her original workout and diet routine right after giving birth. Only a few months later, she reportedly shed all of the weight she put on during pregnancy. Now her diet doesn't seem too bizarre bizarre, but the whole concept of her show Revenge Body was trying to make your ex jealous by losing weight, so it's a little bit counterintuitive. Number 8. Christina Aguilera. Okay, this diet sounds a little more random than effective. Over the years, pop star Christina Aguilera has had a crazy amount of media attention when it comes to her weight, and because it comes with the territory, rumors have always been circulating about her diet as well. But this one is pretty controversial. When it comes to weight loss, Christina credits something called the 7-day color diet. Essentially, this diet requires exactly what it sounds like. You can only eat food of just one color every day. The first day you eat white foods, the second day you eat red, and it's followed by green, orange, purple, and yellow. Then on the 7th day of the meal plan, you're permitted to eat all of the colors. While this sounds fun, if you're only eating junk food that corresponds to the color, then it definitely won't be as effective as it should be. Besides, Christina reportedly had a chef whip up these colorful meals on demand and did not necessarily have to do the grueling work of grocery shopping, cooking, and cleaning. It's just a very unrealistic diet that should not be promoted to regular people at all. Number 6. Billy Porter. The American actor, singer, and writer was a guest on The View, and he discussed Will Smith's latest apology video for the Oscar slap that occurred earlier that year. Porter praised Will for not blaming the incident on anyone but himself and taking accountability for his own actions. Quote, "It's nice to see that it's no longer the devil made me do it. It's not the devil's fault, it's your fault. To take responsibility for that is the right thing to do." Porter implied that now, with all things considered, he wouldn't judge him for just having a bad day. But his attitude towards Smith was a little different earlier that year. While speaking to Entertainment Tonight, Porter gave a thoughtful and forceful condemnation of the incident, likening Smith's behavior to unchecked misogyny, and said that it's upsetting and really disheartening when a version of masculinity shows up like that. He concluded his comments by saying Will's example of toxic masculinity has only made Porter more determined to be himself. And I will be the black queen that I am, because if that is the representation of what masculinity is supposed to be, I don't need it. So he's definitely changed his tune over the past 4 months. Number 5. Johnetta Elzie. The American civil rights activist and organizer of We the Protesters was looking at Will's apology from a totally different angle. She wants to know if Jada Pinkett Smith ever got the apologies that she deserved in the incident. She tweeted, quote, "Did Jada get an apology from Chris Rock? Just wondering." She then went on to point out the ridiculousness of these so-called YouTube apologies, even calling the whole thing unnecessary. Quote, "Celebrity beef is different. Why is Will apologizing to Chris Rock, who is yachting in Croatia with Matthew McConaughey? That man ain't thinking about that damn slap." And Johnetta is not the only person who feels that Jada Pinkett Smith is the one who deserves an apology. In fact, many people are now starting to feel that it's unfair that Chris Rock never apologized to her for the tasteless joke he made in the first place. One Twitter user wrote that Will Smith is being compelled to apologize to Chris Rock, while the very idea of Chris Rock apologizing to Jada would likely get you laughed out of the room. It's interesting when you look at it that way. Number 4. Fraser McDonald. The English YouTuber and commentator better known as I Never has put his 2 cents in about the whole situation and looks at it from his own standpoint. While he condemned the Oscar slap in the first place, he was also able to sympathize with Will Smith. Quote, "I don't agree with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, but his apology to me is clearly so genuine and sincere. I'm also not really surprised the man slapped like he did. He has been constantly berated by the media for years now and made a mockery whenever he was vulnerable and sad." Fraser went on to say that we can either agree or disagree with Smith's actions at the Oscars, but he condemns how much context was removed from the build-up to the incident, and he hates how everyone believes the actor is now this awful human being. Right after the slap occurred, the YouTuber was quick to criticize the excessive backlash that the actor received. It's crazy how they're doing more to punish Will Smith than they did to any Hollywood predator. To be fair, Will explained why he didn't mention Rock in his Best Actor acceptance speech and claimed that he was unable to focus in the moment and said everything went fuzzy, which is probably just down to the adrenaline of the situation. Number 3. Hugh Jackman. The actor has really become well known for the striking physical transformations transitions he's had to undergo for movies, particularly when he reprises his role of Wolverine. So how does he do it? Well, Jackman reportedly follows intermittent fasting, the strict 16-8 diet, in order to bulk up or slim down in a really short amount of time between projects. In order to bulk up, the diet requires that participants eat a whopping 5,000 calories a day, but only between the hours of 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. The other 16 hours of the day, well, you're expected to fast. But Jackman had to do this, according to the actor, because he is not naturally bulky. "I'm quite a skinny person by nature, so I'm eating ridiculous amounts of food. What I do is I eat everything in an 8-hour period. It's called the 16-8 diet. It's safe to say that this way of eating is not recommended as a regular everyday diet. In fact, doctors say that a normal healthy person should be eating between 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day to maintain a stable weight. But even though the diet itself is controversial, it's not unheard of for bodybuilders or pro athletes to be doing something similar." Number 2. Lizzo. The singer is pretty open about her day-to-day life on social media, like her vegan diet for example, so it's hardly shocking when she talked about her 10-day juice cleanse that she went on in 2020. For some reason, it really broke the internet. Fans were very disappointed in her because she was labeled as a body positive icon. First, Lizzo shared an Instagram post with the words "what I eat in a day" on JJ Smith's 10-day smoothie detox written on the top. The video showed a list of Lizzo's smoothies and capsules that she planned to add to them, and then she stood in front of the camera in a sports bra and leggings before slowly turning. The fasting diet involves drinking only juices for 10 days and is supposed to act as some kind of a reset button, but mostly it just causes exhaustion, lots of pooping, and minimal weight loss that returns as soon as a user begins eating food again. But she defended the detox, saying, quote, "I drank a lot and ate a lot of foods and effed up my stomach in Mexico," which is why she said that she wanted to do her cleanse in the first place. Although her fans weren't exactly on board, with one Twitter user saying that diet culture comes for us all. I mean, if she's doing it for her health, then it's completely her decision. Number 1. Shailene Woodley. Not many people have heard about this one, but the actress likes promoting the diet of eating clay. Woodley is known for liking some very out there ideas, but eating clay is one of the more interesting ones, which she claims has a detoxifying effect. She went on The Late Show with David Letterman in 2014, where she explained that clay eating has been practiced in indigenous cultures for centuries, particularly among pregnant women. She's actually correct there, in that various indigenous cultures have been known to use clay in their food preparation, and it is thought to relieve the nausea of morning sickness that pregnant women experience. Woodley says that she makes a sculpture out of the clay and then eats it. She explained it helps you excrete those materials that are not necessarily best for you, like toxins and heavy metals and whatnot. She said that she also makes toothpaste out of clay and that she swallows it to get her daily dose of medicine while she brushes her teeth. This diet is super controversial because unless you know what you're doing, doctors don't recommend eating clay. It could cause a blockage in your intestines, and it can actually affect how you absorb nutrients and electrolytes, so it's really unsafe for Woodley to promote it to the general public.